Good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this session after the break. I hope you enjoyed your break. You had an opportunity to visit the exhibition area and make some a tour and see what is available on display. This session is a presentation by Afraa and Utd MRO. And the presentation is on collaborative safety enhancement initiatives, and will also give a highlight of a joint initiative between Afraa and Utd. The presentation will be done by Mr. Gausu Konate, Director, Technical and Operations, Afraa. Gausu has a vast experience comprising both air transport and civil aviation. His 35 corporate experience covered ICAO, where he served as Deputy Regional Director of the Western and Central Africa for 8 years. He also served as IATA Regional at IATA Regional Office for African and Indian Ocean, where he was the Manager Safety and became the Regional Director, Safety, Operations, and Infrastructure. As Afraa Technical Director, Gausu has fostered cooperation amongst African carriers for 11 years. Gausu will be joined by Dahir Mohammed, who is the President and CEO of Utd Aviation Solution. We will start with Gausu for the first part of the presentation. Gausu, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Maureen. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you join us for this presentation about collaborative. So today my paper will cover safety in aviation as first priority. Then I will seek for our reference, which is Abuja safety target, so that we can monitor progress. And I will talk about two initiatives we took recently to improve safety in the region. And I will introduce the joint venture between Utd and Afraa. Next slide, please. Next slide, please, Maureen. Okay. According to IATA safety report covering 2020 results, over the last decade, the industry continued its 10-year trend of declining fatal accident rate and fatality risk. However, COVID-19 reduced considerably the number of aircraft movement in 2020. We only have worldwide 20 million flights in 2020, while we recorded just above 500,000 in the same year of 2020 for Africa. With fewer flights, the number of accidents decreased. However, the number of the accident rate increased from 1.1 in 2019 to 1.7 in 2020 per million departure. Africa rates increased even more from 0.01 accident per a million departure to 9.8 in 2020, because we operated less than a million movement. In terms of type of accident, which is more frequent, we have runways related accident with 9 occurrences out of the total 38 accidents worldwide in 2020. Now, of course, we will have to deal with this worldwide and in Africa. The same way we notice, but in Africa or worldwide, non-IOSA registered airline rate of accident was 4 times higher than IOSA registered one. So that also gave us a second lever to improve safety in the region. Next slide, please. Okay, now let me put our reference. Already in 2011, we noticed that accident rate in Africa was almost double the one of the rate of the average rate of the world. Therefore, in 2012, Africa attended a ministerial meeting in Abuja, and set the target for improvement of accident in Africa. So the idea of that Abuja safety target being the initial one in 2012, or the revised version in December 2017, the idea is the same: reduce Africa accident rate to the level of the average of the world. How do we do that? We focus on three main contributing type of accident, namely control flight in the terrain, and loss of control in flight, and runway related accident. So you can see how we performed in 2012. I will not dwell on it. We can move to the next slide. So this graph just shows you since 2012, since when we were looking at how we improve our bad result from 2011, how we evolved after setting the target. You can see clearly that the regional rate gradually decreased to the world average in 2015. And 2016, we were even slightly better, according to the statistic of ICAO, reported by RASCAFI, which is the regional safety group of Africa and Indian Ocean. However, from 2017 to 2019, again, our accident rate in the region became greater than the average of the world. Next slide, please. Next. Okay. So you can see clearly on this accident, looking at the one previously. If you can go back to the previous slide. Yeah, this one. Yes, you can see clearly that looking at the three categories, but we did not record safe hit accident from 2015 to 2019. You can see also clearly also that loss of control in flight is also not that preponderant anymore. However, the only issue we have are the runway related accidents, which have been increasing which have been present from 2017 to 2019. And I recall you, but I said, yeah, they are again prevalent in 2020, based on the IATA report. Next slide, please. Because of that, obviously, in the region, we have a new group of volunteers who have been established in an alliance. And the first activity of that group is to improve runway safety teams establishment at African airports. So this is our first initiative. The second initiative is in the framework of SATAM implementation in the region. It was already mentioned by Romain this morning about the fact the bank is providing an institutional support to AFCAC to improve safety in the region, and making sure that part of it is dedicated to operational safety improvement. Hence, we have joined force AFCAC, Afraa, and IATA to prepare airlines in Africa for two safety programs, IOSA and ISSA. How our program will work is we will provide assistance in conducting awareness workshop on both programs, ISSA and IOSA. We will also conduct quality management system and safety management course, because if you have these two systems sound, you will be great in improving your safety. Then we'll carry out gap analysis to find out our candidate, how do they stand against these two programs. And we will assist them to bridge the gap or towards the certification process. Hence, if they are well prepared, we are confident they should be able to go through the processes successfully. And most importantly, if they retain these processes in their daily operation, their safety will improve tremendously in operation. Next slide, please. So just to recap, since 2012, we have seen a gradually improvement of our safety records. We get down to 2016 at the average of the world. And from 2017, we start again going slightly up. However, it is only now due to one type of accident, which is runway related safety. So runway excursions, things like that. But the two other type of accidents, we seem to have really decreased them out. So our focus will be in that at the regional level. This is our first initiative. Our second initiative, as I said, is the program in to make sure that we increase the number of African airlines on both registries of ISSA and IOSA, taking the support of the African Development Bank through AFCAC in preparing African airline for these two events. Next slide, please. Now, I'm really also delighted now to go to the last part of our joint collaborative presentation of today, which is to introduce the joint venture between UTD and Afraa. We have two main objectives for that joint venture. One is to provide the opportunity to African MROs with FAA or EASA approval to make use of this approval in order to contribute in the enhancement of the American fleet's safety improvement through continuous airworthiness. The second objective of that joint venture is to bring to these MRO with this type of approval a brand new line of revenue when the workshops and the technical staff are idle. So I will now call upon Dair Mohammed, UTD CEO, to shed a bit more light on the joint venture between Afraa and UTD. Mohammed, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Gushu. Thank you, Afraa. Thank you, Maureen. Thank you, Secretary General. I'm calling here from New York, Long Island, New York, and UTD is a supplier of aircraft spare parts and MRO services based out of about 10 minutes away from JFK International Airport. What I've realized in going back and forth in Africa is that there's four fantastic MROs, but many MROs opening up that US could utilize the resources from. Here in America, there's a huge crisis happening right now, and because of the pandemic, it's actually become worse. There's a huge shortage of AMT, aviation mechanic technicians. The average age in the US is 51 years old at the moment, and because of the pandemic, most of them have been furloughed or have retired or have found different jobs. So there's a huge shortage to get the aircrafts back on in the air. The other part is unsustainable intelligence. A lot of the aviation academies are closing down because of the pandemic, and even before the pandemic, there weren't enough aviation technicians coming into the schools. They've had a hard time recruiting technicians. Another problem is broken supply chain. As you know, most of you know, a lot of the contracts have been canceled by airlines due to many reasons of the pandemic. Here in the US, I'm sure a lot of people started disassembling a lot of aircrafts and now are sitting down with nowhere to sell it to, which at the end will bring about very high repair costs here in the US, and that's what's happened at the moment. There's a huge tunnel forming, whereas airplanes are not coming back in the air as quickly as possible. And what we're doing with the Afraa initiative, the Brown Condor Initiative. Brown Condor Initiative is named after the first African-American man to come to Africa and support Ethiopia with Air Force technicians and also airplane knowledge and pilot knowledge. And he went back to Ethiopia and formed Ethiopian Airlines back in the 40s. So we're naming it after him. The Brown Condor Initiative is to offer MRO services in Africa from MROs in Africa for less price than it is in the US because of the work shortage in the US. I'd like to show you a little video that explains it, if you don't mind. If you could play the video, Maureen. So as you can see, there's a lot of opportunity in MROs in Africa, and we focused on the four major ones: Ethiopia, Kenya, South Africa, and Egypt, only because they fly direct to JFK, which is right here in the US. What this initiative brings is a high level of skilled workforce, strong supply chain, and a sustainable intelligence, as each one of these MROs have their own academy that they've been raising students through. And at the end, it offers a much, much lower repair cost for American airlines and MROs over here. Thank you, Maureen.
Thank you very much, Dahir, for sharing with us a very good presentation on this initiative. And we have a few minutes left. We are open for questions, and looking at our live chat and Q&A. We don't have any questions, but I can read some of the comments that we have from our participants. We have a comment from John Howell that BCI is a very brilliant initiative. UTD have a great vision. I'll add UTD and Afraa have a great vision. And I don't know if you have any further comments to make on this. What will you mention to the MRO, the Afraa airline members with the MROs that we are seeking to work with to make this initiative a reality?
If I may, Maureen, as
Yes.
Mohammed Dahir indicated, we are looking at Ethiopian MRO, we are looking at Egypt Air MRO, we are looking at Ethiopian Kenya Airways MRO, and
Yes.
FAA Technique. All these four MROs have got approval either of FAA or EASA. So there is a good opportunity here. They already have the approval to be able to work on unregistered aircraft. And they also have direct flight to US. So whatever business they get to do in their workshop, they can bring on their flight to New York, and then Dair will take charge to deliver to the customer. So as I said, in this particular time where the workshop are idle, the technical staff are idle, and the shortage of manpower is in US. So this is really a great opportunity. It's just for these 4 MROs to join us formally and then make use of the opportunity.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Can you add something?
Yes, that's the most important thing, that there is idle mechanics in Africa at the moment because they're only servicing their own aircrafts at the moment due to the pandemic. Here in the US, it's become an emergency of repairs. There's lines, backflows that are developing with every MRO and every airline as well. So this is a great opportunity to show the skills that Africa has produced in the last, I guess, 20 years. Really has improved tremendously with FAA certified technicians, with EASA certified technicians. This is a great opportunity to show the workforce that's available. Here in the US, it's been very, I guess people have been scared to send parts to Africa due to the safety quality and the stigma that it's had. But as you could tell from what Mr. Gursu presented, the only reason why the accidents have lessened and the quality control has raised is because the MRO level has also raised. And the FAA qualifications and the EASA certifications all help Africa. So if it's an MRO in the United States and if it's an MRO in Asia or Europe, it's the same exact qualifications that are required. So the work will be done under those strict guidances in Africa as well. So that's what we're doing. We're bringing a bridge to cross the Atlantic and have the MROs work together. The same way that John C. Robinson did back in 1935. So he's the one who started the bridge back then. We're just utilizing his portal to connect the 2 continents in maintenance.
Excellent, Dahir. And also to add that it's also an opportunity to make an impact on the bottom line of these MROs to get revenues from this initiative. So
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
I just want to add one more thing very quickly. Yes. Everywhere around the world, you've seen Ethiopia or African Airlines winning so many awards. One thing they haven't won is an MRO award. So that's our goal, to win a worldwide MRO distinction in Africa.
We'll put you to task at the next convention next year. We'll come and do a status check on that.
Yes. Awesome.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you very much, Gausu. Thank you very much, Dahir. And we now conclude to move to the next session, which is a presentation by Sanjeev Gadhia, who's the CEO of Utd Aviation, on prioritizing air cargo in airline strategies, fleet, and network development. Look forward to meeting you all at the next session. Thank you.